Hi, friends. As promised, I am here with my first episode of Dynamics 365 Finance and Operations with Copilot Studio. From today onwards, I am planning to launch a weekly session on this topic whereby I would be covering various capabilities of Copilot Studio, digging the rabbit hole of customizing Copilot Studio from finance and operations, talking to the data of finance and operations, performing various crude operations on finance and operations, and also I would like to show you how you can implement securities and privileges in Copilot Studio from finance and operations angle. Saying that, let's quickly take a look at today's agenda. I am going to start the session by giving a short refresher of Copilot, and I'm also going to show you a glimpse of customizing the Copilot Studio. I'm also going to give you various details of agents, entities, AI prompts, ChatGPT. Would like to show you how you can respond to user inputs in Copilot by translating responses from the flows, user inputs, validations in Copilot, a glimpse of adaptive cuts in Copilot Studio. And with that, I would be concluding today's agenda. And from next session onwards, I would like to show you how deep you can dig with Copilot Studio from finance and operations. Microsoft Copilot is an AI powered assistant and acts as a digital companion, offering features like answering questions, generating texts, creating images, and assisting with various tasks, all powered by advanced AI technologies. Uh, Key features and capabilities are AI powered assistants. As I was saying, like Copilot uses AI to understand user inputs and requests and provides relevant informations and actions within Dynamics 365 Finance and Operations environment. Sidecar chat experience. Copilot is a access to a chat interface that pops up on the right hand side of your finance and operations interface, and that allows users to interact with system using natural language. Generative help and guidance. Users can ask Copilot for help with specific tasks such as finding information, summarizing data, or drafting emails. And workflow history summary. Copilot can provide summaries of past actions and workflows and approvals and helping users stay informed and efficient. And enhanced user feedback. So user can also provide their feedback to Copilot's performance, helping it to improvise its accuracy and usefulness. Chat with finance and operations data. This is where we are going to focus our discussion mostly on, which is basically Copilot allows users to directly interact with data from finance and operations applications, enabling them to ask questions and get answers in conversational way. So these are just not all, but they are most importantly or mostly talked about features of Copilot Studio, as Copilot is in everywhere in all branches of Microsoft technologies, starting from Word, Excel, PowerPoint. Copilot is everywhere, and yes, finance and operations is not no exceptions as well. We are going to implement Copilot Studio for finance and operations in our sessions. So when you're talking about Copilot, the first thing that brings up are the agents. The Copilot agents are specialized AI tools within finance and operations and Microsoft 365 Copilot that extends its capabilities by connecting to organizational knowledge and data sources, automating business processes, and providing personalized assistance. You can think of them as apps for the AI era that the Copilot interface interacts with. Copilot entities are, Copilot Studio provides several built-in entities for most common use cases such as email, data, and time, person names, phone numbers, color, country, city, number, money, and much more. Built-in entities are powerful as they can handle many variations of the form and information can take. So if you are asking the Copilot, can you provide me the quantity that are available for a particular item, for a particular warehouse and for a given legal entity? So it is going to ask you, okay, what is this legal entity that you are talking about? So you said like I'm talking about USMF. So it will understand like you are talking about a company, a legal entity, an organization which is USMF. It is if it is asking you, can you tell me what is your favorite color? So you said, I would say my favorite color is velvet. So it is understanding that your point of interest is velvet. So this is what the entities are for, which are basically kind of understanding and interpreting the user's input and storing them as a data type or type of variable into a variable. So which we are going to show you through examples. Secondly are the Power Apps prompts, which are the integral part of any kind of Copilot discussions. Power App prompts are everywhere. So Power Apps prompts you can see on, yeah, on your Canvas apps. You can also have them on your Copilot studios. So AI prompts are instructions that you can give to large language models like GPT to perform specific tasks, allowing users to incorporate custom generative AI capabilities into their apps and flows. What they are. So AI prompts are essentially natural language instructions that guide LLMs to understand the context of our request and deliver relevant and accurate responses. How they work? How they work, if you ask me, is basically you need to provide the prompt, the instruction, and the AI model analyzes it to generate a response based on its training. And purpose, what are the purpose of having AI prompts? So they are enabled to make Power Apps and Power Automate users to leverage AI for tasks like summarizing texts, customizing, classifying informations, extracting entities, translating languages, asserting sentiments, or for drafting replies. Just not them, that actually they can also be used to, to create JSONs on based on user input. They can also be used to parse JSONs. They can also be used to convert from one time zone to, the client specific time zones, like that. So Power Apps prompts are definitely very important and quite an integral part of any kind of Copilot Studio design. Okay, so much of theory. Let's get into some actions. So I am launching my Copilot sidecar, and I'm asking a question like, "What is today's date?" So it's going to take a while to get the answer, and it's saying, "Oops, I'm sorry, I am not sure how to help with that. Can you try rephrasing?" So it's kind of very, embarrassing. Like it's such a, eminent software which is capable of behaving like human emotions, but it's not able to answer a question like what is today's date. So why is this? Because you have to teach it. So if a question like this comes, what should be your response? So if I'm going to launch the Copilot topics, so Copilot Studio looks pretty much like this. If I'm going to launch my Copilot, let it get launched. So yeah, here is our Copilot Studio home, and I can change from which environment which that I want to work with. So going to work with this environment because this is where my Copilot for finance and operations apps, this agent is located. So this agent is where which connects my Copilot Studio to finance and operations. This is where I can ask questions from finance and operations data sources, and it will be able to give me answers. So if I take you out here, let me launch this, and let me go to the topics that are available. So if I go to topics, and it will be showing me all the topics that are available. Some of them are, system generated. They got installed the moment this agent for Copilot for finance and operation apps was installed, and some actually we created. I mean, it was customized. So if I select last modified, it's going to show me the ones that basically I have created. And if I go all the way down, I can see that these are the you can also enable them or disable them as your wish. And I can also define a topic, like a topic like this. I can generate a topic from blank, or I can create a from Copilot with some descriptions given to it. So I'm choosing to start it from blank, and I am getting a window like this. So this in the screen, it's saying, like, it's a trigger. So trigger is what? Trigger are basically the triggering points which are going to make my agent be, responding back to me. So these are the triggering points. These are the topics which it might come across. Whenever it comes across these kinds of topics, I am teaching it what should be your response. So I'm saying this topic can answer questions like, what is today's date? Okay, so yeah, and or you can keep on adding more keywords to it, so as to make it understand the same questions in its various forms. Okay, can you tell me today's date, or what or what date is today? So when I say that and I am clicking on this plus sign, so this is where I am explaining to Copilot what should be your response. So I'm saying send a message back. So I'm sending a message like this. Today is, this is where I am going to push in today's date. So how to push today's date is that you can make use of this fx, which is power fx expression. You can click on this and you can say today. So this is a method which is designed in power fx formulas, and you can directly call that, you can directly invoke them. So I'm just saying insert. So this is going to append that formula at the end of the sentence. So the sentence comes like this: today is, then fx today. So today is responding today's date. And I am renaming this untitled, this is the topic's name. So I'm giving a name like today's date. And I'm saving this. Once saved, you should not be forgetting to publish this topic, the changes that you have made to your topic. And when you have published it, essentially you are allowing your topic to be exposed through this agent to finance and operations. So that is how you are allowing your topic be interacting to finance and operations Copilot. So let us wait till the topic gets published. And once this got published, let me reload this finance and operations um, page, and I'm relaunching my Copilot and asking the same question: what is today's date? If I ask this question, let's see what's his response. So you see, it's now been able to answer. So today is 30th of April, 30th of March, sorry, 30th of March 2025. So, and you see this format is also in, the client's time zone format, which you once again can change by using the Power FX formula. And if you ask another question, let me ask something like this: can you, okay, what is the, rather it's asked like this: what is the time now? So let's see, like, what Copilot answers now. So it's saying, like, you see, today is 3:30, like that it's answering. So it's getting into some kind of a loop, and it is not able to answer you. So it's once again some kind of a crash. So we have to answer that. So how can you answer that is, yes, once again we have to go back to Copilot Studio, and we have to define the response for time as well. And yes, we have just have created one more topic this time. So this topic can answer Questions like what is the time now, or if you ask can you tell me the time or time place. So if you keep on adding triggers like this, phrases like this, it would be answered the question. So what is the response in this case should be like? So I'm saying it is, then I'm saying in power fx formula like this. So what is I'm saying, what is that I'm saying is like in text I'm saying like this, text, and then I'm saying now, and then I'm saying date time format dot long time. So if you say like this, so you see it is as it is showing up a lot of options. So if you are going for long date time, long date time 24, long time 24, like that, it can keep on giving you options like this. So I'm going for long date time. I mean, I'm going for long time. Long time means what? It is going to give you as 24 hours time format, and you can simply, like as I showed you previously, you can simply click on insert to get this formula be inserted at the end of the sentence. So I'm just canceling it because I've already have created that. Now I have saved and I have already published this. Let me go back to finance and operation and let me relaunch my Copilot and see what is the answer this time. So I'm going to ask the same question. Let it get loaded. I'm going to ask the same question here. What time is it now? And let's see what the answer comes this time. Yeah, saying that 10:53, 18. It depends on the the date time settings of my client. So with that, let us go to the entities. As I was talking about entities in my introduction, and you can see the entities by going to settings. So here on the left hand side, you could see all the entities located here. And you see there are so many entities that are available out of box. Say for example, percentage, person name, phone number, point of interest, speed. So many things are there already out of box, which are basically they came when you installed this agent or finance and operation agent. And you can also create your own entities here. Say for example, I would like to create an entity called the items. So say for example, I can create a new entity from here. So the moment I click on entity, it gives an option to me like, do you want a closed list or you want a regular expression regex to define your entity. So closed lists are what? Closed lists are basically, as you must have seen, like on any conversation, at the end of the conversation, the agent asks you like, so how was your experience? Good, very good, or poor, or third class, like that. You can give various options to the user. So that's a closed list. Regular expressions are what we can define. So I want my items, which are I want to define you my items. The first four letters of the items should be alphanumeric. It could be both numbers or it could be both integers, but the last five numbers should be in numbers only and followed by a hyphen in between. So if you want this kind of setup in your entity, if you want to define your entities like this, then you should go for regular expression. So you can click on this regular expression, and suppose I'm defining like item name, or you can give item space name as well, so it doesn't matter, it accepts everything. And you give a short description to it, like I'm saying it defines the pattern of my item numbers. Saying that, I'm giving a pattern to it. I'm explaining how the pattern should look like. So the pattern should look like from I'm saying I can define a pattern like this. So it says like I the my item numbers, the item numbers are always going to be four letters or four digit numbers. So it could be anything from 0 to 9, and it's a four digit long numbers. So let me rename this to, my bad, my apologies, like I can relate this to item numbers. It defines the patterns of item numbers. So yeah, we are all good to go, and I can simply save this entity like this. So it's going to save my entity, and I can use this in my Copilot Studio on any topic. So let me define a topic once again from here from blank, and I will uh, I will define a topic that is capable of getting the details of any item. So say for example, I'm defining this topic is capable of answering questions like, can you get me an item's details, or simply items details. Let me give a strophe to make it more sensible. Items details, please. So if I define, keywords or phrases like this, so let me click on plus sign and let me ask a question back. So I can ask a question back to the user. So okay, so if you to want me to provide an item, fine, I can certainly give an item in response, the details of an item in response. But before that, you let me know what is the item code, item number. So if I say that, ask a question back. So sure, can you provide item code? So if I ask this question and if I select from identify from here, I should be able to see the item number which I just created. So I am saying item numbers. Okay, so this is the entity which I just created. I'm selecting it back here, this guy, and you see it is asking the question back to you. Okay, my spelling mistake is there. I do a lot of typo and sorry for that. Okay, so I'm asking a question like this, and it is basically storing the response in a variable called var1. Let me rename this variable. Like, so it's a kind of a string. It's understanding it's a kind of a string that you are talking about, and let me rename this name of this variable to something. So I'm saying that item number. So if I say this and I am just clicking anywhere, like anywhere on the screen, and it's going to rename the variable to item number. So you see, I am asking a question like, can you provide the item code? I can also include a variation of my question. So say for example, I can click on add and I click on message variation. I'm saying something like, gotcha, can you give me the item number? Okay, I can keep on adding message variations. Okay, please give me item number. Okay, so every time the user is going to trigger this topic, it is going to see questions back like this. Okay, so I'm storing the variable in a the response in a variable called item number. Let me now ask further questions, ask a question back again. So I'm saying a question like, and can you provide me the legal entity? So when I'm saying this, there is already a legal entity variable, legal, I mean, company entity which is available out of box. So I'm selecting from multiple this from this identify from here. I'm selecting as organization. So it's not the, let me select like this organization. I'm selecting this, so it is going to understand my item number and my organization. So the organization, I am the legal entity. I'm storing in a variable called, here once again I'm saying this, changing this to legal entity, and basically it is storing this as a variable of type organization. So this organization was an entity that was already created out of box. I'm using it in my Copilot Studio topic. Okay, so now I have saved my topic. Let me test right from Copilot Studio itself. So it's not like that you have, if you have saved it and you have published it, you need to go to finance and operation, then only you need to do the testing, then only you can do the testing. It's not always like the case. You can test it right from here itself. You can click on this test button out here, and you can do the testing from here. It has a lot of advantages also, as I will show you right away. So if I ask a question like this, item details please, then it will ask me questions back, like to provide me the item number, just like the way we designed. So this is the first advantage. You see, if I click on this, it will take me straight to the point from where this question is coming from, this question is arising from. This is why it is showing as a blue tick. You see, this blue tick is coming because of this question. This is coming from this question. Okay. So if I purposely give something wrong, something gibberish that does not follow the pattern of the item number entity pattern which I have defined. So if I give an answer like this, I don't know. So let's see what happens. What's the response that I am getting? So yeah, so you see, it's asking me the question back again. So it's saying, can you provide the item code? Because it is not able to figure out the pattern that which we have defined in the item number entity. That's why it's asking the question. If I give something wrong again, if I give something like like this, again it will fail to find out the entity, and it will ask me the question again. Okay, so let me give a proper item number like this, like 000. Okay, like this. uh, my item number is, so if I give an answer like this, let us see what happens. Okay, so you see, it has moved to the next question of asking me the legal entity. And just not this. So if you close this activity map, what is this activity map all about? I will cover that on another session. And let's close this for the time being, and let's move on to the this this uh, pane, which is where you can see the variables out here. So that if you click on this variables, this pane, out of this, I can go to the browse, and you see the item numbers and legal entities. Two variables are there. Apart from that, there are global variables that are also present out there. What are this? Two ticks. I am going to come back to it on a later discussion. So let me go to the test tab, and let me see, like in the topic, inside this topic, if I expand this, and would see, like out of this answer, my item number is 0001. It has been able to scoop out just this portion of it, and has stored in this variable, the item number variable. It has been able to identify the item number from my response. Now I am also going to give my legal entity, my legal. Okay, so let me answer it like this. I am talking about USMF. So if I say that, let's see what happens. So again, let me close this activity map, or rather, I can just click on this. It's said it's not able to find out the legal entity. So let me give the legal entity like this, USMF, and let's see what happens. Does it accept it? Yes, it accepted, and it asked me the question back. Because why is asking me the question back? Because if I go back to my topic, if I go back to my the circuitry of my topic, I have not defined anything hereafter. So that's why it's crash landing back to the square one of asking the item numbers and my organization details. You see, like again, I can define for the steps to get the item number details. So let me share with you one more interesting fact. So if I click on this plus sign, I can simply call an action. I can define an action here. Okay, so what are actions? Actions are, I can define power apps. I can define a flow. I can define a power automate. I can define a prompt. So there are various things that I can define here. So these actions are of varied shapes and forms. So the actions could be globally defined in my Power Apps, in my Power Platform portal, or could be locally defined in here, in as it's shown here in my actions. I can define the action for this, for this agent only. So instead of that, let me define an action out here. So I can create a new Power Automate flow. I can click on this and let's wait for a few moments to get the page loaded with the Power Automate verifications and validations and the licensing verifications details. So yeah, it got loaded. I'm just clicking on got it and closing this. So I'm saying that run a flow from Copilot and respond to Copilot. So I'm saying run a flow. So even saying that I'm add an input like this. So when clicking on add an input like this, I'm getting text. I'm saying item number. The name of this variable is item number, and then again a variable for the legal entity. So I'm storing the variable in legal entity. So if I store those two variables, let me call the subsequent steps to get the item number. So what I can do is I can call an OData agent, I mean OData endpoint, to get the details of my item from finance and operations. And likewise, we are defining a post request to get the authentication token. These are the variables that you can get from Microsoft Intra ID by creating your app registrations. So these are my client ID, and this is my client secret, and this is the Dynamics F&O base URL. And last but not the least, this is my tenant. And in the next step, basically, I'm defining a variable whereby I'm just parsing the token which I got from the above step, and I'm getting the access token variable from the entire response. And finally, what I'm doing is that I am calling the released products V2 OData entity, and I am passing data area ID and the item number which I have got from the input step. So if you take a look at this filtration options, so you see, like if I call the this URL like this, let me show it in a better way. So if you take a look at this, so here what I'm doing is that I am calling the base URL. Along with that, I'm passing on as filter the data area ID and the item number. So like that, you can filter from a JSON response with your inputs. This is exactly what I'm going to do, and let me show you the response that comes if I call this endpoint. And let me show you, like if I am calling this OData endpoint from here, this is what the answer comes like. So if I click on pretty print, this is how it looks like. You see, it is just showing for just one product number, just for one item which I have provided, and just for one data area ID which I have provided in my filtration input. So what we are going to do is that we are going to grab the value of whatever is there inside this value node of this JSON response, and we are going to get this value as a summarization of my response from an AI prompt, and we are going to send it back to our Copilot. Exactly, this is what we are going to do. So let me do what? Let me take you back to my prompt, and let me add a prompt here. Let me click on this, and I'm saying create a text with GPT using a prompt. So I'm selecting from AI Builder this option. So let us create a prompt here. The prompts are, we have already discussed about the prompt at the start of this discussion. And let me create a new custom prompt from here. All I'm going to do is that I'm going to tell it like, hey, this is your input, and this is your input JSON. Can you summarize this? Or can you parse this? Or can you get the details of the product from this given input JSON. So let it get loaded, and till then let's wait. Yeah, it has come. Let's give a proper name to it. Get item details. And here I'm going to give instructions to this prompt. So I'm saying, can you get the summary of this JSON input? And then I'm saying slash like this. Okay, so if I say a slash, I am being prompted with saying text or image or document. So I can define my variable here. So I'm selecting the first option as text, and I'm giving a name to this variable as JSON input. Okay, and in the sample data, I'm just copying, and I've already copied it. I'm just pasting that value, the entire value of the JSON response that I have received. I'm just adding it here. So if I'm clicking on add input, it's done. So I can just test on this prompt. Click on test prompt. It should be able to generate the summary of this JSON response which I am providing. So you see, it has come with this. It has been able to prompt. It has been able to summarize the prompt, and so if I can save this, and I am going to call this get item details, this prompt. I'm going to call this from my flow, and yeah, it's done. So I should be able to see this get item details here, right here. So I'm going to just give the JSON input, which I can select from this effects, and let's go to dynamic content, and let's go to all the way down to like my get items numbers in body, and in the body I'm going to get the value. So if I do this, let me add this, and it's done. So, and on the response to Copilot, what I will do is that I will grab the response that I'm getting from this GPT, and I'm going to add a prompt here to, like this. Choose the type of output. I'm saying it's a text, and I'm giving a name to it called the response, and I am giving a value to respond with, which I'm giving as dynamic content, and going all the way down, down, down to my body of my this text. I'm getting the value like this text. So it is coming as body slash response v2 slash prediction output slash text. So this is how the chat gpt, I'm going to get the value of my summarization in this variable called text, and I'm going to give it back to my caller Copilot. So I'm just clicking on add, and that's done. I'm just going to save the draft, and I'm going to publish this. And so if I come back to my Copilot Studio topic, it looks like this. It's saying that you have opened a new tab to create a new flow. Are you done with it? So if I say done, it will refresh the list of the available flows, the available Power Automates, and it will allow me to choose the uh, flow which I've just created. So I have created this flow called get item details. I'm just clicking on this, and it will allow me to provide the inputs to this Power Automate. So I have two inputs. If you remember, like I have created two inputs. One of them is the item number, which I'm passing from the above steps. So I can directly select this item number as an input, and I'm selecting the legal entity. My mistake, I've made a spelling mistake of legal entity once again. So never mind that. So I'm clicking on the legal entity like this, and I'm storing the response, the outcome from my flow in a variable called response. Okay. And finally, what I can do is that I can click on add node and send a message back to the user, whereby I'm going to take the value of this response, and we are going to give it back to the user. So what I'm doing is that I'm going to click on this insert variable called x, and I'm going to get response here. So I'm going to just click on response, and that's it. It's going to bring you back the item details that you are going to provide. So I have already saved and published my Copilot Studio topic, and let me relaunch this Copilot. And if I ask this question to my Copilot sidecar, like so if I ask this question, let's see what happens now. As it's saying working on it, and it's asking like, can you give me the item number? I say the item number is this, and it should be asking me about the legal entity. So I'm saying the legal entity is this, and let us see like how the Copilot brings back the response now. So it is calling my prompt after executing the flow, and is going to grab the response from the prompt and is coming taking it back. So it will it's taking a while. Let's wait. And whew, this is the response from my JSON, from my from my prompt, and that comes via Copilot Studio to my finance and operations sidecar chat, and so it's giving details like this. And it's pretty, it's pretty detailed. It's giving the item number, product name, purchase prices, unit cost, and all these details. Excellent in a user friendly manner, in a user understandable manner. So you see how you can talk to Copilot by giving it instructions and allowing it to respond back to you, and you can ask further questions, and it can be iterative, it can be just not a monologue, it could be a conversational uh, direct question and answers between the Copilot and the user. So with that, let me wind it up for today. Thanks for watching. You know how to reach out to me. So these are my coordinates, and you can certainly give me a nudge just in case if you need anything, if you need more information regarding this topic. And in the next session, it's going to be much more interactive, and I'm going to get much deeper with Copilot Studio, and I would just like to show you how beneficial it could be from developers as well as from a functional angle. And yeah, take care and don't forget to subscribe if you have not already subscribed to my channel. Much love, Subhashish.